A few days ago, I uploaded a video which was pretty wild, pretty unique, and showed you guys just what MbL thinks about the map Arena, where you start with stone walls. Or at least the old Arena meta, because in the past, it was a lot of monks, a lot of Voodaloos, and well, this game is not Arena, it's actually Acropolis, a map which is extremely open. But before we get to what's going to happen in this game between MbL, who's here in the blue, and K4sva, who is an amazing Turkish player in the red, there's a little bit of backstory here, okay? So, the Khmer civilization is definitely one of the best civilizations in the game right now, both in team games and 1v1s. And MbL, being a top 10 player, he is really well acclimated to the civilization and knows how to maximize on that greed. And the other day, MbL went for a very greedy fast castle, meaning very quick, not much military, but with walls, he was able to pull it off, and then sneak out army, and then kill his opponent, okay? Not necessarily the most unique strategy in terms of what happens, but with the times, I think it was a 13-minute castle time, it hit the opponent before they were ever prepared or ready. And in this game, small spoiler, because I have a lot to talk about, and we have Dark Age and Feudal Age, MbL is going to try a similar thing here. The map is Acropolis. It's all about expanding around the map. The larger wood lines are down here in the flat area, but you still can pull off some walls. If you wall here, for example, here, you can still pull this off. And if you know MbL's reputation, he's very well known for walling. Now, K4sva, I don't know if he saw that game, but he's going to go for something which definitely wasn't planned at the start, but it's a beautiful way of adapting to how his opponent's playing the game, and it gives him a real shot. Still going to be really tough. Truthfully, Berbers are a civ that's picked to counter civs like Huns, like Magyars, maybe even to compete with Indians. MbL picked Khmer. Hard to stop the Khmer economy. Hard to stop the Khmer if you're Berbers. Truthfully, Berbers struggle against most civs that get Siege Rim and Halberdier. Khmer is definitely one of those civs. Also, Berbers don't have their own pointy boys, so they don't have their own Halb, meaning they're not going to be able to stop Khmer elephants if it gets there. So you have the eco side of things, Khmer are better. You have the option side of things, truthfully, Khmer are better. But for now, K4sva's thinking, let's go scouts. Let's start it off. Let's go for a standard build of heading to Feudal Age on 21 or 22 population. And let's get those scouts out, and you never know what's going to happen. MbL, at the 5th minute, already starting to wall a little bit. Already thinking ahead about how he could play this game. Now, what makes the Khmer FC so deadly is the fact that you don't need to build your required buildings to go to the next stage. Using just a basic fast castle as an example, you need to arrive to Feudal Age. You need to build a market and a blacksmith, or 2 buildings, which takes some time, and then you go to the Castle Age. So that's about a whole minute where you have to build buildings, and also you need to have the resources for those buildings. So it's not just the time, but you probably need to have an extended Dark Age, so you can have more villagers on wood to collect wood for the eventual blacksmith and market. Whereas with Khmer, you don't need to do any of that. You don't need to build the buildings. You don't need to have the resources for the buildings. So if you're being extra greedy and you want to farm heavily, and Khmer farms are good too, you can pull this off. And it's a civ that pro players are so good at being greedy with as well, due to the fact that you can actually hide in houses. So even worst case scenario, if K4sva comes in with attack and MbL's not walled, if he has a few houses around, he can just go boop right into the house. So the walls are coming up. K4sva, he was pushing in a few deer, and he's just scouting the map right now, thinking about where he could build lumber camps, where he could build TCs later on, and he's getting loom, and he's on his way to the Feudal Age. Now, all this is standard from here. If you watch a lot of Acropolis games, you probably see this all the time from pros. Just 21 pop scouts. K4sva's heading towards MbL. Still doesn't know what MbL's up to, and he's going to find out soon. Now, MbL, starting to farm a little bit, has gone back here to push in his deer. Pushing in the deer. Now, keep an eye on his resources. Still has not clicked up to Feudal Age. Just about to complete the walls. K4sva's just looking for the hill. You see the hill, you should know that MbL's base is going to be on top of that. And almost like MbL is used to being greedy and walling, MbL is going to be walled right when K4sva arrives. And K4sva is placing his barracks at home. So thinking a lot about that, and probably not scouting as much as he should, but the reality is, like, this is his build order now. He's already so far the way to feudal age, he's got to go there. And he did wall as well. It's just he's walling, and he's going to try and go aggressive with the thought of picking off MbL villagers and finding a wood line. MbL is just going to stay up here for wood for now. And K4sva's just... Yeah, actually he's being pretty inactive with his scout, to be honest. But the reality is, if he attacks the walls, there's no way he's getting through. So MbL's 70% of the way to the feudal age. Now again, the backstory, MbL did this the other day, went to Castle Age super fast, and then got Castle Age military to the opponent's base before they were able to deal with it. K4sva sees the walls, he's double checking. K4sva making a stable and getting, will get double bit axe, already has horse collar. After horse collar, which is a farm upgrade, he's going to get a bunch of farms, the food's going to last a long time, and his eco is going to be pretty healthy. This game is like it's like a series on TV. There's multiple episodes of it. We have the backstory, the introduction. MbL did this before. Will he do it again, you know? Again, keep an eye on MbL's resources. Look at the time! Has to drop off some food. On his way to Castle Age. He will be in Castle Age at 13:59. That is ridiculous. I cast low elo legends. A lot of players arrive Castle Age around 23 minutes. On a regular basis. So 10 minutes faster than the average player. But the thing is, you can't really stop it. Like, what do you do here? If you go straight archers, you're going to arrive to MbL's base with archers when he's halfway to Castle Age already. So what K4sva's going to do is what MbL hates. Make stone walls and turn this into arena. He has fast villagers with Berbers, so he's starting to send them out. He knows that MbL could be sneaky and try and send some military his way. A stone wall here, gate. Guys, Acropolis is a wide open map. The whole point of Acropolis is to have aggression. And MbL decided to make palisade walls and make his own little palisade arena. And he's hoping to make archer ranges and sneak out with cav archers and decimate K4sva's economy. Truthfully, K4sva wouldn't be able to do anything against that because skirmishers wouldn't work. They're too slow. And then scouts, they're not going to work either. But K4sva says, whatever. You start with 200 stone, so he's already out of that and he's mining more. And he is going to fully stonewall this base. Crazy. So, MbL, he doesn't know about this. And I was actually watching MbL's point of view. And MbL's exact words were, he's like, if K4sva saw what I did versus Hera, he's probably going to be okay. He said, but I don't think he did, so he's dead. So MbL had a lot of confidence that this strategy was going to work because you're going to have cav archers at your opponent's base at 15 minutes. It's just unreal, right? And here comes MbL with his scout, and he's like, wait a second. Did he stonewall all of this? Not arena. Not arena. And yeah, it's arena. Okay, so the next couple minutes are really going to show you how freaking strong Khmer are. MbL will, I mean, he's invested into the ranges, but MbL will now know, alright, well, probably not the wisest move to make a lot of cav archers. Maybe I'll create one or two, but there's really not much I can do, so let's instead just try and boom this one out. By the way, I have a slight cold. Don't worry, I'm fine, but if I sound a little bit under the weather, my apologies for that. Hopefully it doesn't distract from this awesome game. So, MbL got double bit axe, which is the Castle Age wood upgrade, and now he's going to shift into the mindset of let's boom. So, created 2 cav archers, I think, just so he doesn't lose his scout. K4sva's chasing. Cav archers do not have any upgrades, but still 6 attack is decent. K4sva chooses to run away. He takes the hill, and he will snipe MbL's scout. Now MbL can't scout the map, which is very important on Acropolis. The downside for K4sva is MbL's adding a second TC. Will MbL lose a villager here? No, he will not. And, you know, it took a lot of resources to full wall the base. It took a lot of villager time. And K4sva is now going to go up. Okay. Episode 3. The foundation is set. MbL is adapted. He's making cav archers. What are Berbers extremely good at? Well, they shred cav archers. And they shred cav archers with the camel archers. So again, hearing MbL's thoughts on this would be very important. But I just took all this from some of the things he said on his stream. And MbL said he's going to go camel archers. So I will boom and defend. So keep an eye throughout this whole game. Keep an eye on the vill count at the top, okay? This whole game is an absolute masterclass. It's epic for both players and how this develops. One of the more unique strategy games you will see this year. Yeah, so MbL figures, alright, he's already on stone because he made the stone walls. So normally players stay on stone, and then after that, they make camel archers. Makes sense. It would counter what MbL made. MbL's like, whatever, I'm not going to make Khmer. I'm not going to make Khmer cav archers. I'm going to do something else anyways. So let's boom. Just adding farms right now, creating villagers as quickly as he can. And he's actually going to build a 4th town center over on this side. Already has a vill lead. That eco lead's only going to grow and grow and grow with Khmer. Truthfully, he can't create villagers out of all these TCs right now. But he will get there because Khmer farms don't have drop-off points. And he definitely is going to have the wood line secured. But guys, K4sva, he transferred off of stone. He is not going for camel archers. He's going to go for knights. And Berbers have very, very cheap knights. And MbL can't see what's going on back here. So it's not going to be monks. And MbL hates those monks. Instead, it's going to be knights and chain barding armor knights. The whole point of Acropolis is about keeping map control. K4sva has a lot of resources in here right now, and he wants to prevent MbL from gaining a large eco lead. Something that is, in many cases, almost impossible because of all the Khmer bonuses and how pro players would use them. And K4sva is going to give it a go here. 1 town center, all in aggression. Because, let's face it, if he tries to catch up in TCs, that's not going to happen. MbL already has 4 town centers producing villagers. He's bound to win that race, and you'd be playing right into the Khmer hands. And here's MbL's cav archers. He is scouting, trying to see what's going on here. Sees the wood lines being chopped, maybe thinking that he could range that. Can't really see much there. Still booming and booming and booming. Look at the Khmer farms. There's no drop-off point for those farms, and that's going to be the real issue as this game goes on, is MbL can just plop down farms anywhere. Right now, they're neat and tidy next to the TC, but if the game gets messy, they don't have to be. Alright, he can range 1 villager, so he's getting fletching, so he can maybe range a few more. Still doesn't see what K4sva is up to. 40 villagers versus 56. MbL's about to have a 20 villager lead. This is his point of view. He's thinking, well, what is this? I don't see anything yet. And the knights are just passing. A bit weird from K4sva, but I don't know if he knew about that town center. Now, when I saw this at the time, I was really confused. I think K4sva was preoccupied with something else. But he just sat here, and MbL immediately reacts. Now, to put things into perspective of just how, like... Well, you know what? I'm going to hold that thought. Alright, I'm going to get to what I was just thinking in a bit. Because K4sva is knocking on the door. If MbL lets any of these knights in, he could be in real trouble. House walls here, amazing defense. House here, amazing defense. We'll need more and more and more and more houses. Here, he just got attacked and lost a cav archer. And now MbL, who has 70 villagers against 42, he's going to try and make pikemen. Now with that food income, you should be able to make pikemen. Keep in mind that K4sva does have 16 military against only 1 of MbL. K4sva's added a siege workshop, so he's thinking if I can ram down one of the town centers, I can maybe get some vill picks, even this bad boy up. All in, and he's sniping some villagers and forcing some idle time. This is good. Half a dozen villagers go down. About a dozen villagers hop into the TC. A bit sloppy from MbL, but he is being pressured over here on this side. Still needs stone walls and still needs houses. Now, think a lot of people, like a lot of people would not have gone all in K4sva's position. I think they would try and add TCs, but the more TCs you add, the less wood you have for farms, for the food that you need, the less wood you have for siege, which you need, and then the less food you have for knights and upgrades. So K4sva still all in one town center production with these knights. Here's the first ram. MbL has 3 barracks producing pikemen. 78 population for 67. And K4sva knows, like, he knows he's on the clock right now. He knows that if I don't kill MbL soon, it is probably it's probably GG for me. So he's going to try his best. MbL is going to have to defend from this somehow, some way. K4sva takes the best fight possible, because if he didn't fight there against the pikes in those numbers, he would surely lose everything soon. Still not ideal. And while he's raiding over here because MbL's distracted, and that's impressive, and tried to go through here, which MbL housewalled behind, and that's impressive. He's left with about maybe 10 knights on our screen, and it's 12 military against 4 on the scoreboard. 23 farmers for MbL. He has tons of idle time. 28 idols right now. K4sva still piling on the pressure. He turned it into arena. No monks. But this is something different than MbL would have expected. This entire game is the most unique Acropolis game that I have seen. So something to remember for people out there who might play this game. Knights are better than pikemen in 1v1. So if you can maintain more numbers, then you're good. The problem is it's just so freaking expensive to make these knights. It's a lot of gold too, and you might not have that gold long term. Remember, the power of the Khmer economy is insane, and MbL, he hops into the TC with the pikemen that shouldn't be taking the fight. He'll hop into the town center with the villagers that shouldn't be fighting. We'll still lose a few, and K4sva right back over here. Guys, you're going to get dizzy in this game, trust me. That ram's at 72 HP, and MbL does not have pikemen here right now. The pikemen are over on the other side. MbL hops out of the town center, repairs with these villagers, uses the villagers to attack the ram, and back into the TC. I mean, I call MbL the cockroach of AoE for a reason. That defense was sick. Now the knights are getting hit by the TC fire, so they're slowly losing damage. The pikemen are over here, and MbL's at 92 pop. It is 67 for K4sva, who tried so hard. But I just, you know, it just doesn't seem like it's realistic now. He still has knights. He does have some scorpions, but the military count's close to even. And while he did add a second TC, he's still behind by 30 villagers. But guys, there's something that K4sva has right now that only top-level players can take advantage of. And that is momentum. So MbL is defending, and eventually he's hoping that that defense is going to lead into offense. But if K4sva can keep pressuring the sides and keeping MbL on the back foot, it is his only way, really, to win with the military comp he has right now. He tries to use the Scorpion there. He wants to deny MbL's castle, which is in a good position, and K4sva will be forced to back away. K4sva will also probably lose this Scorpion, which has been forgotten. So 2 Scorpions down, a Knight down, 92 villagers for MbL, and 60 for K4sva. Now, things to think about are gold and wood. MbL's posted up on a lot of these wood lines. There's also some gold there and some gold over here. K4sva takes this fight. I also like the fact that he's making monks to heal up his knights in between fights. And the Scorpions were a good idea. It's just a tough thing to manage. If you want to double check on K4sva's economy, K4sva currently 2 TCs, still trying. And K4sva, because the knights are so cheap, can produce quite a lot, but maybe it's maybe it's time to start thinking, excuse me, about making something else, and maybe it's time to think about some range. Has a lot of food, a lot of gold in the bank, and he might be thinking about the Imperial Age. Another thing when you're comparing knights and pikemen, while the pikemen can destroy knights in numbers, the knights are much faster. So K4sva, he's going to run through here. MbL actually had a ram, and he says thank you very much. MbL still chasing. Okay, so I'm going to look at K4sva's point of view and just show you his scouting. He is aware of everything except for maybe that stone in the corner down here. Up here he sees the extra stone. He has quite a few golds in his base. There's this gold here as well. And now he's trying to get into MbL's base. Now MbL lets him into his base. I love it when a player gets overconfident. And MbL said, you know what, I'm going to let him get in there because I'm sick of chasing him. And now he's trapped. Again, low elo legends, mid elo masters. A lot of players are not going to be able to micro these knights very well. K4sva does have an opportunity to run around and maybe just buy time and get some momentum from this. Definitely sniping villagers. I was questioning it when MbL deleted the house to let him in. Don't think it was the wisest move. MbL goes down below 100 villagers, has 30 idols. The knights are dying. K4sva is still going to have to make some other plans. Elsewhere, K4sva's not raiding. This is the first time in a long time that he's not raiding in 2 spots at once. He has 9 knights, and he's going to need to buy himself quite a bit of time. No castle yet, which means no camel archers. MbL has 35 on food. Food count spiking. MbL's got eco everywhere, and compare that to K4sva. That's about it right now. 30 pop behind. Has been 30 pop behind for quite a long time. Score is a little bit deceiving normally. So right now, K4sva, he's invested in the Imperial Age, so he has less score because he put those resources into the upgrade. Also, K4sva has more scouting, so his score is a little bit higher due to that. But something that Age players very much look at, it gives you a feel for where you're at in the game, or where you're not at. MbL clears up what was 15 to 20 knights. There's 2 more here. They might get a pick off of some kind. 90 population versus 142. And now, MbL has all the military in the world. 36. And it would counter Cav. K4sva expanding. Just got this TC up on the other side of the wood line. About to build a castle in this corner. Yep, this is actually a good castle spot because it protects both the TC regions. About to complete this castle and start making camel archers. MbL is now on the way to the Imperial Age. So if I was streaming this as MbL cleans up a weak knight that was attacking his stone miners, if I was casting this on stream, I would say, can we please salute K4sva for the attempt? Because the stone wall is amazing. Everything that he's done... Oh! Oh god, I didn't remove this mod! Well, okay, it's arena, right? Because of the stone walls, so whoops. I don't know why that mod's still here. That's actually MbL's voice. But anyways, I'd say salute K4sva, please, because K4sva's played so unbelievably well here. MbL actually runs forward and builds 2 outposts. Now, he's known for outpost rushing, which is not really a strategy. It's more like an in-your-face thing, where you build like 20 outposts in front of your opponent's base just to let them know they should resign. I don't think he was outpost rushing here. I think this was him genuinely wanting to see what's happening behind the walls. But yeah, keep that one in mind, because I know K4sva spotted it. K4sva making those camel archers. Those camel archers are very, very strong and good ranged unit. The problem is, siege ram is something that Berbers can't stop. Specifically, Halb siege ram is very difficult to stop. They don't get their own halberdier to match it. If you make a champion as Berbers, it can be decent. But certainly at this stage, you can't just go champion because Khmer can then make scorpions, and it's just... it's tough. K4sva's doing a heck of a job. MbL's waiting for that eco to spike, and he's about to be in the Imperial Age. What you're about to see is some of the sickest post-imp defense and attack from both players you will see. This is just peak high-level Age of Empires. K4sva, house wall. He sees the pikemen coming this way. Those pikemen should be no problem. K4sva now castle. Has used this treb to treb down one of MbL's barracks. The pikemen are actually getting through. I think K4sva's missing ballistics yet, and yes, he is. I actually just made the university. He's like, oh, I need that upgrade. K4sva has 1. He has 2. He has 3 castles to produce camel archers. And after the unique tech for Berbers, you can produce these camel archers pretty quickly. Halberdier for MbL. MbL will place a castle over here. He has 42 military versus the 17. of K4sva, and the food count's going to spike to the point where... Oh, no, Seadram, already on the way. MbL sees his target. He knows how important it is to push there. It started off with MbL going for a crazy fast castle. He thought he would kill K4sva. K4sva fully stonewalled the map. K4sva then went all in knights. MbL's defending, even though he wanted to initially be the attacker. And it's just... I'd love to see Age of Empires games with differing strategies. MbL garrisons the TC. The Camel Archers will have to get out of here. Yeah, that's a lot of pointy boys. Only thing is, I think Khmer missed Squires for their help, so they're pretty slow. So if it was Celts, I'm pretty sure the Berbers would just be dead. Because of the slower helps, maybe they have a chance. But choo-choo! Here comes MbL. 6 Rams, Halberdiers inside the Rams, and look how little damage the Camel Archers do against the Rams. Now, you could make Hussar or Cavalier, some type of melee to take out the Rams, but if you do that, the Halbs will pop out, and then that melee is going to get countered. You see that? It's a sick combo. This is like a 2-for-1 deal. You get one castle, you get another one free. K4sva's building another castle here. And K4sva really has no choice but to fight with villagers here, I think, because he can't lose that castle. So there he goes. I'll show you the HP on MbL's units, specifically the Rams. K4sva is putting a lot of stone into repairing. He's getting supplies, so he's thinking about champion. Can he hold here? Elsewhere, MbL has a trebuchet, and he has another Ram. Oh, 2 trebuchets. K4sva is going to lose this castle as well. Again, another situation where you're thinking... Man, it was such a good attempt from K4sva. But if he loses the castles, I don't know what he can do as Berbers. Well, K4sva loses that castle. So 3 castles have been lost over the last couple moments. This is all after getting those ranged upgrades. K4sva's probably not very pleased. So supplies means his champions, which is the line he's going for. He's on longsword right now. We'll then go for 2-handed swordsman and then champion. But supplies makes it cheaper, so that's good. It's good that they get that. Champion is the counter to the pointy boys. As I previously mentioned, Khmer have scorpions to counter that. And also Khmer have the elephants, which are extremely expensive. MbL is making the elephants right now, and truthfully, Berbers don't have a lot to counter the elephants. But guys, K4sva has the corners of the map, and he also has more mobility. So MbL has been playing defensive for so long, he loses some villagers here. K4sva is going to say just passing, and K4sva is probably going to move right along. While at the same time, attacking the other side with a little mini base in the southern corner. Alright, the TC fires enough. He's going to move along. MbL has to react. MbL has been reacting ever since the start of the game. Ever since the Stonewalls. K4sva's going to run in here. Now, keep an eye on the farm count for MbL at the top left, because it is so easy to reboom with Khmer. You can just mindlessly place farms. And guys, keep an eye on the vill counts and total populations for both players, because we're about to have a crazy base trade, if you can call it that. MbL's losing eco. He's down to 125 pop, which is normally GG territory. But check this out. Rams, Halberdiers, and Elephants going to the northern corner. The comeback play. Unbelievable game of Age of Empires, guys. And the thing is, Berbers don't get Halberdier, and Champion get wrecked by these Elephants. So K4sva's going to lose eco to this. He's probably going to lose military to this. He's going to lose buildings. He could lose the TC. Meanwhile, he is still microing. It's the level we're looking at in this game is amazing. It is truly incredible. No relics collected by either player. I noticed this while I was speccing it, because I saw this already. I noticed the monks were here with relics, which K4sva forgot about. K4sva has no choice but to make pikes. Better than nothing. Maybe a few monks would actually be useful. Here, K4sva's looking to break out as MbL sends 4 elephants back to deal with this. Idle time for both of them. Messiness for both of them. I think MbL misclicked the farm, but if he takes that TC down, there's quite a few villagers in there. Elephants are killing villagers here. The camel archers and the light cav are running for K4sva. And the population is almost even again. It's ridiculous, man. Now, elephants are extremely expensive, but MbL has plenty of gold. And that food count's going to be fine if he's able to get more farms. But here's some Vululus. The K4sva gets 1 elephant conversion, and that's MbL's sign to get out of there. Woo! What a game! TC did go down, by the way. K4sva are still sticking to the farms in the north. But K4sva, he's all about the flip-flops, alright? That's what he wears in the summertime. No, but seriously, he's all about the flip-flops. His win condition is to flip-flop and switch sides constantly. That's probably like the most childish way to explain what he's going to have to do if he has a chance in this game. But unit comp-wise, it's not really ideal for him. But he has to stop MbL from getting to that ideal mass of scorpions and hussars and elephants and halberdiers and rams. He has to stop MbL from doing that by switching sides and keeping MbL on the back foot as he has been. MbL has 57 farmers. He's getting chemistry now. He's getting light cav. He's making scorpions here on the left side. But check it out. It's almost like a 3-pronged attack. K4sva has units here. He has units running in here. And he has units running in here from the south. Unbelievable. Like, MbL, he's a beast, but he can't be in 3 places at once. K4sva is happy to sacrifice units underneath the TC because he knows on the other side, MbL's losing precious economy that he's been working to repop. Like, look at these farms. K4sva could notice that and raid that. Here, K4sva's actually destroying the town center, or getting close to destroying the town center with champions and pikemen. Yeah, this is dangerous, though. That's quite a few elephants. The scorpions are over here as well. But look, you have another small raid coming in. The light cav break in or run in that hole. And MbL is just in a constant state of rebooming. Oh, man, the flood from K4sva. And just to think, like, this guy, he had to fully stonewall his base to get to this point, and the stone walls are actually paying off. Even if MbL wanted to raid him, I don't think MbL would be able to. I call MbL the cockroach of AoE because he's incredible at booming and staying alive. If you guys want, you'll have to let me know. I will show you a game where I played MbL. And let's just say it's just about as long as this one. We both went for some meta strats. He was playing serious. I was playing serious. Wanted to get my win against a pro player. If you want to see it, assuming the recorded game doesn't break with a patch or something, I will try and get it to you guys. Only if you let me know in the comments below. Scorpions, so good. There's not many upgrades on them, but look what they're able to do to the infantry here. But not the monks. The monks becoming a very important part of this composition. K4sva did get 3 relics, by the way, and MbL's on 2. There's just too much for me to focus on. It's a lot of scorpions. The 41 farms for MbL, 61 for K4sva. It probably doesn't seem like his eco is that good because we never look at it, but it is incredible back here. He's got a lot of economy. Now he's lost a lot of like eco area, but he has reboomed it. 160 pop for him, 150 pop for MbL, and we've seen this before, right? MbL defending this corner. MbL just trying to gain a foothold in one of the corners so he can actually push. Every time he tries, K4sva kind of holds, and then you look back down here to the south. This time, K4sva's making champions with hussars. Hussars for the villagers and champions for the halberdiers that are patrolling here. Light cav running in underneath the castle. That's probably not the best move, but you can do it every now and then. MbL now getting siege engineers, which will give the scorpions more range. Very, very good upgrade. Also, that will give them a little bit more range against the monks, too, if need be. Because the monks don't have block printing yet, so only 9 range. Here comes the raid, and again, MbL a moment ago felt like, oh, I'm fine. I'm freaking fine. Constant pressure from K4sva on the sides. Sick. So, don't mean to sound like I'm tooting my own horn or anything, but I played a game versus a player named Maya, who... I think he's from Morocco, Anyways, he's around like 100th, 90th in the world, something like that. And it was my very first game in the most recent patch. And I was Franks, and he was Mongols. And it was a very similar situation, only he had 60 Mangadai that he was running from either side. And it got to the point where we only were relying on Relic Gold. So Franks have awful skirmishers, and you can't make skirms against Mongol Hussar anyway. I pretty much couldn't kill his army, but I raided and raided and raided. The game was 2 hours and 5 minutes, eventually won. Maya had 1,800 kills and 1,000 deaths. Just flat out ran out of resources. If the game wasn't so long, and if I wasn't so proud of it, I'd probably cast it, but I could see that coming off the wrong way. YouTuber gains fan base just to show people his own games, you know, that would be, yeah, kind of sketch. Possibly, I don't know. But, you know, it makes for a nice story. MbL starting to spread his wings to fly a little bit. We have 12 villagers on these farms. Those villagers will go down. Over here, MbL sent elephants this way, and they will die. 23 military for MbL. It's like, his population has never been, or no, not never, but it's rarely stayed around 160, 170. K4sva is not going to win this game with the best units. He's going to win this game with the most units. And keeping MbL on the back foot. Every time MbL stabilizes in an area, he's got to push. MbL just probably can't believe that with 84 farmers as Khmer, that he's getting pushed like this. Access to Halberdier, where Berbers don't get Halberdier. They only get pikemen. All these things. These camels are dirt cheap as well. Now, they're not that good against the elephants. But if you combine pikemen with the camels, and with hussars, and with monks, I mean, that should be enough. A lot of farm space lost for MbL, but he still has so many farms. It's ridiculous how he's been rebooming throughout this. And K4sva's back at it again. MbL reacts again. MbL is actually going to have some real problems with wood lines if this game continues, which is what I had said when I played against Maya. It's just, in that situation, it was always going to take so much longer. But if you just keep raiding on the sides and they're never in a position to hit you, it can work. Despite having the weaker units, it's all about momentum. It's all about map control. And in this case, whoa, did that elephant just die to a Trev? I think it did. In this case, a lot of the map control stems from K4sva's ability to wall up early. Look, he's in on this side. He ran right through, and he's in on this side. Now, this might seem silly. It might seem like a waste of units, but you know what it does? If he sends 10 units in here, or actually it ends up being 16, MbL needs at least 16 to deal with it, and then you just spam more from the middle. The Turkish legend, K4sva is such a beast. He's like the Doubt of Turkey, that's what I would say, is spamming from all sides. He has split up these groups of hussars in MbL's eco. He's connecting against the elephants. He has the monks around to get conversions. It's just so impressive how many units he is sending into MbL's base. Alright, well, K4sva's probably feeling good. The score's looking good. The population's certainly good. You look at the queue, guys. 42 hussars, 8 champions, 11 pikes, 1 camel. So much queued up. Not the most impressive KD, but the spam is just unbelievable. To have 3 corners like this and utilize it as he's doing it, it makes it seem like there's more than one person controlling this for him right now. And do you remember the outposts? Do you remember that? The outpost that MbL built? Well, K4sva's like, alright, buddy. I know your reputation. This started a few years back. MbL would outpost rush when the game was over to send a message. Just build outposts even though it's a waste of stone and say, hey, get out of my game. Well, as MbL is trying to deal with the raids, K4sva's going to come forward and start building outposts. By the way, this is all in good spirit. I've not seen an instance with the outpost rush where there was genuine salt or frustration from the players. It's just when you're playing 10 hours a day and you face MbL every now and then, you got to outpost rush him back. MbL's elephants are getting converted. His pop is 115. He's getting ballistics and archer armor now. He's desperate. The outposts are still going up. And the raids still continue from all sides as that castle crashes to the ground. MbL with only 72 villagers now. And more buildings from the Turkish player. 70. He has as many military units as MbL has economy right now. And I also want to give him credit for keeping a nice balance between military units and eco. What a freaking game, man! What a freaking game! So sick from K4sva, like unreal, man. The stone walls to counter the greedy FC, the control of the corners, not having halberdier, not having any real strong answer to halberdier siege ram, and still getting the eco to get champions, keeping MbL guessing. If you're familiar with my channel and the Age of Empires scene, MbL probably beats K4sva 8 times out of 10, but it's just the way K4sva was able to get the win in this game with a civ disadvantage was just beautiful. And for any Berber fans out there, I think you're going to appreciate that too. Stonewall's a little bit faster because the villagers are walking faster to get there. We saw some camel archers. We certainly saw the cheap knights. We certainly saw the cheap camels. And we saw some monks. It's not like Berbers have monks that are all that special, but you can't forget the lords. Or the lords, the monk, you know what I mean. Okay. 570 kills. K4sva put on a clinic on how to play post-Imperial with map control. 82 is the largest army. I think that was MbL's concern. Like, he was addressing K4sva's army in proper fashion. He was creating halbs when he needed halbs. He was creating elephants. And he was holding with those fights despite having less numbers. But in order for MbL to really win this game, he needed to have equal army numbers with his composition. The second it's 82 Khmer military against 82 Berber military, just based on options, Khmer should push. But it never got to that point because MbL would have 30 or 40 units win one side, and then K4sva would send in like 20 or 30 to the other side of MbL's base. That was just, it was incredible. Still, despite having a lot more farmers for most of the game, K4sva had just about the same amount of food as MbL. However, I think MbL had a lot less of wood. Also spent a lot of wood too. Scorpions, halberdiers. K4sva got more stone. What the? So, thanks for the invite, person. He had more stone, and he even had less gold, and he made it happen. 98% of that map was explored. He used every inch of the map, and 3 relics, which I didn't focus on too much, but he was able to snag them when he was fighting from the corners. Total of 5 castles. Lost a lot of them, right? And there's the timeline, guys. When I saw this, I said around here, when MbL had the pikes, I said, wait, no, it would have been here. I said, amazing play from K4sva, but sadly it's not going to work. I so badly wanted K4sva to win because I like it when creative strategies are rewarded. I also like a good underdog story. It's just kind of tough to get that with a cutthroat game like Age of Empires. And it seemed like that all-in play had to work or it would be over. But his expansion in the corners did it. MbL could have done some small things better, but still, I don't want to take anything away from K4sva. So, I appreciate you guys watching this. I want to hear your thoughts on the walls, on the outposts, and on the amazing map control and pressure from K4sva. If you'd like to see more from him, please let me know. As I said, I think K4sva is like 32 or 33. He played very well in the Hidden Cup 3 qualifiers, didn't make it into the main event, but I think if he continues to play and practice, we could see more and more of him, both in videos, but also in upcoming tournaments, whatever that may be. I appreciate you guys to death. You probably know this if you've been listening to the streams recently, but I am going to be moving again here in about 2 weeks or maybe a week and a half, depending on when this is uploaded. I'll have content stacked for YouTube at that time, but man, moving's stressful. I'm not even moving that far, just a couple hours away. But to work on that stuff and then to also put effort into having these videos uploaded and then Twitch streams and all that can take a toll on a man. But you guys are worth it because you guys are constantly saying the nicest things, enjoying the content, falling asleep to the content, and what more can I ask for, really? So guys, thanks. I'll see you next time, and look forward to your comments down below.